Hello and welcome to Lapping Analytics. My name is Jimmy Lapping. I'm a psychologist and statistician with an interest in a range of topics, including the forecasting of sports events. And in the last few weeks I've been sharing videos with my forecasts for each of the playoff rounds for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, football or soccer. And we have two matches left, one being tomorrow the match for the third place, and then in 2 days from now the final. So here you see an overview of the 30 playoff matches that we have seen in the tournament so far, so not counting the group rounds because those are used to gather data to make my forecast for each of the playoff rounds. So here you see the 30 matches in order of being played of the playoffs so far, and what we can say is that in 58% of the matches I correctly predicted whether Team A would win, Team B would win, or there would be a draw after regular time. But more importantly, when it comes to forecasting which of the two teams heads to the next round, there I had the correct outcome in 22 out of 30 matches, which is about 73%, which is not bad, especially knowing that going further into the playoffs, the difference between teams becomes smaller and smaller. There is more uncertainty around the outcome. Okay, so what do we have for the remaining two matches in the tournament? I'm not going to explain my method in a lot of detail. I really refer to the previous videos that I've done for each of the rounds so far. But basically what I do is I take the goals that each of the two teams scored in their own matches in the tournament so far, and also the goals that they got against in each of the matches so far. So the goals that they got against, so they had to concede. That's basically information that we use of the scoring potential of another team against, for instance, in this case, France, or against England. And then so we make comparisons. We take the number of goals that we would have in favor, for instance, of France, either through the goals that they scored or the goals that opponent got against, and we compare that with each of the outcomes for England, so the goals they scored and the goals in this case France got against so far in the tournament. That results in a total of actually many comparisons, 196 comparisons, because we have 7 matches, which means 7 data points for goals that France made, 7 of 4 goals they had to concede, and the same for England. So it's 14 by 14 comparisons. It's 196. The blue bars are actually, they indicate frequencies of outcomes that were in favor of France. So where, for instance, France scored a goal more than England, or England got a goal more against than France in the comparison. And the gray bar is where the comparisons are actually equal. So for instance, if in a match France scored 1 goal and England as well, the difference would be 0. So that contributes to the gray bar. And the red bars are actually in favor of England. There are a few more mathematical details, including the application of a Bayesian prior distribution, which I'm not going to explain in this video. Goal for this video is really just to communicate my forecast for the remaining 2 matches. And when I follow exactly that procedure which I've been using in each of the playoff rounds so far, which you can also find in my previous videos, then what I see is that there is about 49.8% chance that France win after regular time, so no extra time or penalty shootout needed. A 23% chance of a draw, and a 27.2% chance of an England win. Now, of course, ultimately only one of the two can win the match for the third place. So what we do is we equally split the draw probability in 2 halves. When we do that, we see that, bottom line, France has a 61.3% chance of winning, and England has a 38.7% chance of winning. That is a big enough margin to say that the most likely scenario is that France will win after regular time, so that no extra time or penalty shootout is needed, because the the joint probability of the least likely two scenarios, the two least likely scenarios, that would be draw and England win. The joint probability of that is just 50.2%, which is below the 55% criterion that I've been using in playoff rounds so far. Plus the difference in probability between a France win and, in this case, an England win, that's more than 10 percentage points as well. So it's big enough for me to say, okay, the most likely scenario is that France will not need extra time or penalty shootouts to win this match. It, of course, nothing certain. I mean, these probabilities indicate that England also has a certain chance of winning this match, according to this data, which is just, I mean, what I've done is basically use performance in the tournament so far, so it's actual performance. Based on that, England has a chance of winning the match, but yeah, if I was to say which one is more likely, then of course that in this case is France. Then the final, Sunday the 19th of July, between Spain and Argentina. Applying the same method, what do I see? Spain has a 44.2% chance of winning the match after regular time. There is a 24% chance of a draw and a 31.8% chance of an Argentina win. So this difference between although the difference in probability between a Spain win and an Argentina win after regular time is just over 10 percentage points, it's just over 12. Still, the joint probability of the two least likely scenarios, in this case draw or Argentina win, the joint probability of that is 55.8%, which is over that 55%. So in this case, I would say Spain needs extra time and possibly even penalty shootout to win that match. Hence the note here below: most likely scenario, Spain win after extra time or penalty shootout. Again, as for the previous match, what we do, given that only one of the two teams can win the match, we equally split the draw probability in two equal halves, which is 12 percentage points for each. So the final probability for Spain is 56.2% and for Argentina 43.8%. Again, Argentina has a decent chance of winning the match, definitely, even after regular time, right? After regular time, almost a 32% chance. So nothing certain, absolutely not. Anything can happen. But again, based on the probabilities that we have here, I say Spain is the favorite and Spain should win the final. So what does that mean for the two matches altogether? Just to recap, for the match that is scheduled for Saturday the 18th of July, I predict that France will win without the need of extra time or penalty shootout. However, on the 19th of July, I do predict that extra time or maybe possibly even penalty shootout will be needed, at least extra time for Spain to win the final. Let's see how these matches play out. I mean, these are just probabilities, and as I've explained in each of my videos, above all what they show is the degree of uncertainty that there is around a certain outcome. I mean, the teams that face each other in the later stage of the playoffs, well, they tend to be fairly similar in their strength, in their offensive, defensive capabilities. Maybe some a bit more offensive strength, maybe a bit more others a bit more defensive. For instance, Spain versus France, I think that was the strongest offense, France versus the strongest defense, Spain. But nevertheless, both teams facing off in a semi-final, or in this case in the match for the third place or the final, the teams that face off are pretty similar, and that's why the probabilities are much closer to a 50-50 scenario than they would probably, for instance, be in some of the group matches, let's say. Anyway, I hope you find this interesting. If you like this kind of content, you will find plenty more of it on my channel. If you want to see the mathematical, statistical foundation of the method that I use, that is explained in detail in previous videos in this tournament, especially in the round of 32 and the round of 16. I spent quite a bit of time explaining that. And well, what can I say? Enjoy the matches, and I hope to see you on this channel at some point soon again. Thank you.